It's been a long time. It's been a long time since I've been on YouTube. So I know you all will come on in and watch this later on. So I'll go ahead and get to it. Good evening, good evening, good evening. It's been a while since I have been on my YouTube channel, and I want to say good evening. Hello. I've been working behind the scenes, getting some things done. But I wanted to come on today because about a month ago, actually, this was about April, the end of April. So the end of April, I showed you all this property. And at the time I showed you the property, it was still a building here, right? A building similar to this building right here, okay? Actually about the same size and structure and everything, right? So in April, a similar building was here, but now what do you see? You just see the lot, right? This building I got tore down in my community. This building that was here was a property that was abandoned for over 20 years. It had all types of rodents and animals coming through here. We had all different type of people that came in to try to live in the property. And so it was extremely hazardous to the community. And so one of the things that I did was I used my receivership certificate that I have here within the city of Chicago. So the receivership certificate is a certificate here in the city of Chicago that you can use to basically take over dilapidated, abandoned, hazardous property, right? And don't let me say take over it, because you do have to go through a court process. You do have to go through a judge to get it. But, right? But this property was the first property that I did using my receivership certificate. And I wanted the property torn down because it was hazardous. But now I am in the works of acquiring and buying this land, right? So the whole point of buying the land is to build a new construction. I want to put a 3-unit new construction building here on this corner in my neighborhood that I grew up in, right? And it's another property that I have on the next block that we're working on doing the same thing with. So the whole point of getting on here is tomorrow, my mentor, who has taught me a lot in these last 2 years with me buying property and getting into real estate, my mentor is hosting a free workshop. So those of you that are here in Chicago, I've already put the information in the description of this video, but it will be in, I don't remember the suburb. I want to say Sauk. It's not Sauk Trail. It's not Sauk Village. She's closer to Orland. I'm gonna say that area. When you click the link, it'll give you the address and everything, right? But we will be there. It's a bunch of us that we're speaking. This is a series that she's doing, a series of workshops. So it's gonna be 4 different workshops every month. Tomorrow is the very first workshop, Tuesday, July 15th, from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. And in that workshop, we'll be sharing with you stuff like this: how you can acquire land, how you can buy property in your area through different sources like land bank, right? How you can make sure that the properties in your area, you can look them up. You can see if they have demo orders on them. There's a lot that you can do that a lot of you all in your neighborhoods may or may not know. That there's a lot of information that you could pull to learn about a property, if it's abandoned, if someone owns it, if it should be demolished, if it could be saved, right? And if you are not someone who is thinking like that, then maybe you should be. All right, maybe you should be thinking about that. Maybe these are some things you should be thinking about. I'm gonna say this, especially if you're 40 and up. If you're 40 and up and you don't own anything, right? You don't own any land, you don't own a home, you don't own an investment property, you might want to start thinking differently, because things are changing. And land and owning real estate and property is actually how you build wealth. It's a very great way to build wealth. I actually bought my family house back in 2019. I took over the mortgage payments, and I think I only owe about $40,000 on that property. But that property today is worth about $225,000. So within 5 years, the property has increased its value by $125,000, because 5 years ago, the house was worth $100,000. Now today it's worth $225,000. So if I wanted to sell the property today, I could sell it for $225,000, pay the mortgage the $40,000, and then still walk away with what, $185,000, 35, 40, yeah, $185,000. Y'all are not doing that, right? That's why we have to have these conversations about land and real estate and ownership, right? Some people think, oh, owning a house is too much, and it's actually not. A lot of the money that you spending and you paying somebody's rent could be your mortgage payment. If you paying $2,000 a month in rent, you need to be looking at, why do you not have a mortgage? Because you can literally get a mortgage with a 620 credit score, okay? Instead of paying somebody else's rent and paying somebody else's mortgage and property, and then them getting the value, okay? So we have to start having these conversations as to why we should be buying our blocks and communities back. And then if you're not ready to buy a house, at least buy a land. You could buy a lot. In Chicago, they selling lots for $3,000, $4,000, $5,000. Okay? With the building on it, they wanted $11,000 for this lot. So now that the building is not on it, I'm definitely not paying $11,000 for this lot. I'll be paying less than that, right? Because now there's no building on it. So they have to sell the lot for less than what they were selling it with a building on it. You can literally own land for less than 5 bands. Now, the difference is, if God forbid something happened and you lose your job today, you could pull your car up on this property because you own it, and you can live here. If you needed to sleep in your vehicle, get you an RV, put you a trailer. I don't know if that's in zoning, right? You got to still be within the zoning rules, right? But at minimum, can't nobody tell you you can't park on your land. You can't park on your lot. So if you had to live out your car and sleep on your land, at least you own the land. You got to start thinking like that. Y'all not paying attention. You're not paying attention to what's going on. You're not paying attention to what's going on if you're not focused and thinking about real estate, land, property, ownership. All right, I need you to get your stuff together. Okay? So, I am inviting you to come out Tuesday, tomorrow, July 15th, 6 to 8 p.m. The link is already in the bottom of the video. For those of you all in Chicago, I will see you there. For those of you not in Chicago, I will be hosting a Zoom workshop soon with some lenders that can talk to you about acquiring land and property in your city and state. All right, every city and state is different. Every county is different, but every county has a tax lien sale. So at minimum, if you aren't listening to what I'm saying, go look up tax lien sales in your county. Some counties have tax deed sales and some are tax lien sales, 2 different types. But every single state does it. Every single county does it. It's a way to acquire land and property. You can buy land and property on those tax sales, right? Commercial property, residential property, and land. Tap in, y'all. I'm telling you. Tap in.